Welcome back, everybody, to episode 12 of the Rebound. Another guest episode with Matt.
I'm just the.
You can't get rid of him. Yeah.
Stuck.
All right, and today we're going to be talking about our top three to win the championship next season, as well as a sleeper pick to win the championship that season. So we're going to start it off with Matt. All the way, what's your number three to win?
My number three is the Clippers.
I like that.
I love that.
I like that a lot.
Especially with Paul George and Kawhi coming back.
Mhm.
You know,
And
we got
John
it to
Wall.
him. They got John Wall too. They even got
Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson off the bench right now.
Probably the deepest bench in the league. Best
Yeah.
catch and shoot shooter in the league. Top 5 shooter in the league. Luke Kennard.
And then you got Norman Powell, too, who's top 10 shooter.
You do. All right, I'll go next with my number three. I have the Warriors. You may say that's a little low, but I don't know. I think that the Celtics could have beat them in the finals this year. I think that if they had a few more chances, could have been theirs. They didn't have a few more chances, but I don't know. You know what I mean?
Kind of like
Yeah,
it's like
those
they
are your
coulda-
chances.
Like they could have. Like, you know, it's possible. So I have them at 3.
All right, at 3 for me, I have the Heat.
Mhm.
I think they were so close 2 years ago. They were close again this year, and I think
They haven't really changed, too.
they haven't changed. I think they're only getting better, and I think this year, Jimmy's gonna push himself. Bam's gonna push himself. Tyler's gonna push himself. I think Kyle Lowry getting skinny and getting healthy is gonna mean a lot for the team. And I think the role players like Max Strus,
Oladipo.
Caleb Martin, Oladipo looks good. He's been in the gym with Miles Bridges. I think he's gonna come back looking hot, and I think they have a chance. That's why they're in my number 3. They have a chance.
All right, Matt, you're number 2?
My number 2 is actually the Bucks.
All right.
You know, you can have them winning a second championship for them with Giannis and second ring for Giannis and Chris Middleton.
It's hard to doubt Giannis.
Yeah, I also had the Bucks as my number 2. So similar thinking there. Brendan.
Giannis we trust.
And to be honest, we trust him.
At 2, I have the Denver Nuggets.
He's been like this. You have
I
been rooting for
had
them for a while.
such faith in the Nuggets. I love what they did getting KCP. They have MVP Jokic, Jamal coming back, even if he's some of himself. Michael Porter Jr., even if he's some of himself. Aaron Gordon's a good defender. Zeke Nnaji's getting better at playing defense. He's shooting the 3 ball well. He's going to come off the bench, be well for them. I think they're a well-rounded team, and I think all Jokic needs is teammates. And I think with those teammates, they have a great chance to win the championship. That's why they're my number 2.
All right, dude. Number 1, Matt Watts.
I actually have the Warriors going back to back.
Respect.
Okay.
You know, they still got, Andrew Wiggins decides to actually be an NBA player.
Yeah.
Draymond Green likes to hit people in the groin.
It's
Stephen
an important
Curry's
part of the game.
Exactly. Stephen Curry's the best all-time 3-point shooter.
Mhm.
Klay Thompson, Splash Brothers.
Probably right behind him on that list.
Exactly. You got some great talents out here in Draymond.
Your number 1?
My number 1 is the Celtics.
Wow.
I still have faith in them.
Yeah.
I think that, again, like what you said with the Heat, they only got better.
They don't get
with
better.
the acquisition of Malcolm Brogdon
And Gallinari.
and Gallo. Gallo's a really good veteran on that team because when I looked at that before, there weren't that many veterans on that team. But I think Gallo will bring that because he was either going to go to the Bulls or the Celtics. And as a Bulls fan, I'm happy he didn't come because I don't really think we needed him. So I think that he was a better fit on the Celtics. Because his game is a little similar to Jason Tatum, so I think that's a good mentor for him.
For me, my number 1 is the Philadelphia 76ers.
Wow.
Joel Embiid, second in MVP for the second year in a row. I think he's going to take that to heart. I think he's going to realize that MVP doesn't mean everything. Scoring title doesn't mean everything. Free throws don't mean everything. I think he'll lock in. Hopefully he'll load management so then he'll be healthy for the playoffs. James Harden, I think, will have an MVP type season this year. I have full faith in James Harden. I think he's one of the best, if not the best shooting guard in the league. This year he's going to be playing point guard, and I think he'll be top 5 in that. Maxey's doing well. Thibault's a premier defender. Tobias Harris always knows his role. B-ball Paul Reed is going to get more minutes based off his playoff performance and summer league performance, so I think that the 76ers are my favorites to win the championship. And now we have our
Alright.
sleeper picks.
Matt, who's your sleeper pick?
My sleeper pick's actually the Nuggets.
Nuggets, I love it.
Yeah, but they're still a sleeper.
Wow.
Yeah. I just don't think they have it. You know, they have the MVP candidate. They have Jamal Murray coming back, but really, what else is Jamal Murray gonna add? Other than like Instagram highlights, but like that's
You
about
can just
it.
find that on another website though.
Yeah.
My sleeper, who I have complete faith in, one of my favorite teams, is the New Orleans Pelicans. You know, they're just a really young team who I just don't spit on my table. Who I just have a lot of faith in with all those young players.
I just don't.
Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Devontae Graham. Who else? Help me out here. Jackson Hayes. Who?
Herb Jones.
Herb
CJ.
Jones. CJ McCollum. Forgot about him. They are a sleeper to win the title. I think right behind them, you gotta have either the Cavs or the Bulls as the next closest. We didn't even talk about Brooklyn at all. Maybe that's your sleeper. I don't know. I think that Brooklyn is also solid. You know, with Ben Simmons, I'm really excited to see what the three of them can do.
I mean, him smiling says that it was the Nets.
My sleeper is not the Nets. My
Oh.
sleeper is the Dallas Mavericks. The league's gonna get the wood. I have full faith in Wood. I think
Yikes.
Luka Doncic every year has beat out a better team.
True.
Every year he's beat out a better team, and he's got closer and closer and closer. And I think if just the Warriors take a step off the gas, he will get to that finals. And no matter what Eastern Conference team faces him, if it's not the Heat, the Mavericks will win the championship, I believe, because no one besides Jimmy Butler is going to be able to handle him on that perimeter. And I think his premier offensive game and playmaking skills, he'll lead his team to a championship.
Not you crazy. You crazy for that, man.
All right, so next we're going to go over to what teams and players need to improve
All right.
to better their odds. So first, we're going to start off with the Heat.
Okay.
What do you think the Heat, because Matt, did you have them on your list?
No, I did not.
What do the Heat you think need to improve, or what player needs to improve for them to get over that hump?
That's a hard one. I mean, they're really doing it out here. I feel like they just need like better defense sometimes. They're really good on offense. Like they got Tyler Hero coming off the bench, and he's a very good offensive role player. And they got Jimmy Buckets out here. And then like really who's playing defense? I mean Jimmy Butler is pretty good at defense, so is Bam.
Yeah.
But like
Who else?
Kyle
Lowry.
Sometimes.
Max Strus is a good defender. Victor Oladipo is a good defender.
Hopefully.
Oh, I forgot Victor Oladipo's on the team.
He didn't really get much minutes, though.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna go the opposite way. I think that their offensive consistency needs to increase. You know, like we always point out how Gabe Vincent or Max Strus would have one of those nights, but that would be because one of their superstars were having an off night. You know, Kyle Lowry. This season, it was surprising to go in the box score and see him not score less than 5 points, because I would see a big fat 0 in the scoring column for him so many times when I would check the Heat box score, and it was horrible. Somehow he still averaged around 15 a game. I don't know how he did that. But regardless, I think that he's one of the people that needs to improve on the team. I really think Bam and Jimmy are doing all that they can, except for the fact that Jimmy Butler was the least efficient jump shooter in the league at about .77 points per shot. That was the worst in the league. The only two behind him, Russell Westbrook and Julius Scandal. So I really think that Jimmy Butler needs to work on that offensive consistency, and I think that everybody else has been doing their part relatively, except for the people that I mentioned.
All right, I agree. I think everyone talks about how the other guys on the Heat, like Duncan, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, they always talk about the other guys. I think that's their weakness. I think they need consistency on this team. They need consistent scorers and defenders. And once they get consistency, I think they'll be able to get over that hump. The Boston Celtics, I feel like there's not much really to talk about for the Boston Celtics because they improved so much. They just went against a team that was more experienced than them. Could we all agree with that?
He's the most experienced team in the league.
Is there
probably.
anything we say they could improve on, even though they improved over the offseason? Because I think
feel
they're a
like-
perfect team.
I honestly think so, yeah.
They're a
They're-
great team. I feel like they should add like veteran like players though, so they
Yeah.
can
So I
get
think
that
Gallo was a good move for them.
I think
Exactly.
all they need is a backup center, probably.
Backup center,
That's true.
yeah.
Because they play their two centers together, so
even
they don't
if they
have
got
a
like
Isn't like Enes Kanter like still a free agent somewhere? Or is
He
he,
You said Tony Bradley was a good basketball player.
Let's calm
Hassan
down.
Whiteside. I
Hassan
think.
Whiteside is
Hassan
great. Where
Whiteside
is he?
was
Is he
good.
still in the Jazz? What's going on?
I think the Jazz are selling him. I think he's a good option to get.
I think he was still on like the Heat.
That was a long time
That was
ago.
a long time ago.
Next, we got the Bucks. The Bucks, what they really need to improve on is health, to be honest.
Yeah,
Middleton was out. If Middleton was there, I think they would have. They took the Celtics to 7 without Middleton. If Middleton was there, I think they win that game. I think they just need, to be honest, they just need a bench scorer. Maybe their rookie Marjon
Like
Beauchamp.
Grayson Allen is their best bench scorer.
He's starting now
Yeah. True.
because he took Wesley Matthews. Maybe if Bobby Portis takes a most improved player leap,
He might start. Oh well, no, because Brook Lopez will be back. Right.
All right, the Sixers, they're also a title contender. So the Raptors, what can the Raptors do to improve their odds? They're a solid team with OG, Scotty, Pascal, Gary Trent, Fred VanVleet, but off the bench, they have people like Thaddeus Young, Otto Porter Jr., Malachi Flynn.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those names are like names that a lot of people would say, who? Too? Because that was me. I would say that. Well, of course, Otto Porter Jr. is a well-known player. But I think that the bench is probably one of those places where they can improve. Let's see, how many points per game did they score this year? So,
They have a lot of inexperienced players on their team, like Delano Banton was getting minutes, Malachi Flynn getting minutes, a lot of minutes, and then your center rotation is Chris Boucher, Kem Birch, who are both smaller bigs, who are getting banged up by Joel Embiid. So I think it's their bench depth, their bench scoring, really just their bench overall. Is there someone we'd like to see on that team, like a trade they could make? Like, what's a player you think they need? What type of player? Give me a name,
for the Raptors?
yeah, and a mold of that player.
I have no clue.
It's tough because you have a solid. That's one of those teams where you have a solid big man, you have a solid forward, and you have a solid point guard. So honestly,
They have a lot of solid. On
they
that
do. They kind of remind me of the Clippers in some ways. So
They just need that
given
superstar.
that,
You think?
I don't think they need a superstar because I think that Pascal can rise to that.
Yeah.
But because they still did okay this year, getting the 5 seed. So I would say a really good bench consistent shooter like Luke Kennard.
Like a Luke Kennard.
I would say Luke Kennard. You know,
I think you're really right on Luke Kennard here.
in the they scored 103 points per game. That's it's in
Pretty
the
low.
better half of the league. but
Really?
It is, yeah. But it could always be better. I think that adding that scoring to them because they have plenty of good defensive options on the team.
Yeah, you think about Thaddeus Young, not much of an offensive game. Kem Birch, not much of an offensive game. Delano Banton, not much of an offensive game.
Siakam depends.
Siakam's a night-to-night thing. OG's just starting to get his offense right.
Yeah.
Malachi Flynn, I mean, we've seen him drop a lot of points over the summer, but during the games, he's not much of a factor.
True.
And then the Bulls. The Bulls just improved by getting Andre Drummond because they had Tony Bradley. They have a good backup center, someone they could put in when Vooch is hurt or Vooch isn't banging like he should be. They drafted Dalen Terry. They have Kobe White. They have Ayo Dosunmu. Patrick Williams is coming back. Zach LaVine is back. We don't know what we're getting from DeMar DeRozan because it's another year in age. What can they do to improve their team?
I think it all goes back to bench scoring. I think that the Bulls need to give up faith in Kobe White. I think that we finally need to trade him. I don't think he adapted well after the DeMar trade. I don't know if it was the lack of offensive attention that he was getting, especially because he wasn't the starting point guard anymore because Alonzo came at the same time. But I really think that the Bulls should give up on Kobe White and trade for a consistent bench scorer. I really think that if the Bulls got like a Tyler Hero off the bench, they would be easy 5 seed.
That's what Alex Caruso's there for.
That's true,
Alex
but
Caruso was
you
nice.
have him for the perimeter defense, and he'll only give you like 10 a game. I also would want a really good because Andre Drummond's defense isn't really up there. I would want a versatile big on there. So like ideally, the best big that you could put on that team. I wouldn't say Rudy Gobert because I would still want someone to space the floor. I would want someone like Bam, who I can rely on to hit a jump shot if he needs to, and he's really versatile. But I would still want to have that 7-footer in there, so maybe keep Vooch at the same time.
Let me give you this realistic trade real quick. Would you do this as a Bulls fan, Matt? Would you do this? Kobe White and Andre Drummond and a second for, let's say, either Hassan Whiteside or Azubuike on the Jazz and Jordan Clarkson. You get Jordan Clarkson as that bench scorer, and then you got either Hassan Whiteside or Azubuike to be that big man where Azubuike can kind of stretch. Hassan's stretching recently.
I think I would rather have Hassan. I would take that.
You would?
Yeah, I would take it
so.
too.
I think that would be a good team. I think that would be a team in the East that could be a sleeper team. Up next, you have the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets have Ben Simmons, Kyrie, T.J. Warren, Cam Thomas, Nick Claxton, Kevin Durant. What can they do to improve, really?
They put in a bubble again and just T.J. Warren
Put
to
T.J.
go
Warren in the bubble?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hard team to say because we haven't seen them at full strength in a really long time. And, you know, even if they had all their players last year, we still wouldn't have seen them at full strength because a lot of people are still underestimating what T.J. Warren and Ben Simmons are about to bring to this team.
I think what they desperately need is center player. Like, when Nick Claxton is your starting center, who probably weighs the same as, like, you guys, that's scary as a 7-footer holding down the paint when he's really skinny on a championship team.
Well, I really liked Andre Drummond on that team.
Yeah, me too, but his coach didn't. And then your backup center would be Day'Ron Sharp, who we love Day'Ron Sharp, but he's 6'8" center. You can't trust LaMarcus Aldridge with his heart condition. He might die.
Well, isn't he coming back?
He is, but
Probably not for long.
yeah, I wouldn't trust him on the court.
Me neither.
And then
I don't know. Like, I think an Ayton. I don't think they could get an Ayton level player and still keep the
honestly,
quality that they have.
They should get back Jared Allen.
That would be really good.
Jared Allen would be good.
I think his worth has increased too much where they can't get him now.
But it would look good for him.
It would be very good for them.
Because that Cavs team, we'll connect this to the Cavs. What do the Cavs team, because the Cavs are such a deep team, they got Garland. Sexton hasn't re-signed to the team yet, but they still have his qualifying options, so he'll probably come back. Sexton, Markkanen, Mobley, Allen, Love, Okoro, Isaiah Mobley. What do they need, or are they just a solid team that's waiting for their opportunity?
They need definitely something because I feel like they're just staying in the same spot.
I think it's maybe bench. It might be the bench because the
The
starter's
bench,
so
still
solid.
they got Ricky Rubio, Lamar Stevens. Their bench is. Would you do a trade like you want Evan Mobley to be your center? You trade with the Nets. You take T.J. Warren. You take Cam Thomas. You take Joe Harris and a second for Jared Allen. So then the Nets get their center. It would be Kyrie. It would be Cam Thomas. It would be Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant, Jared Allen, and then the Cavs would have Darius Garland, Sexton, T.J. Warren, Markkanen, Mobley. Then off the bench, Cam Thomas,
I'll tell you
Okoro.
I would not do that right now. I
You
think if I
wait.
would do that, I would wait at least another year and see what Evan Mobley can do in his sophomore year where he's improving. That's what I said.
Alright, then the Hawks. The Hawks kind of hit a lurch this year because Clint Capella wasn't doing normal Clint Capella things. Like, Clint Capella was one of the best defenders in basketball the year before when they beat the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
But now Clint Capella has kind of fallen off a little bit. Onyeka Okongwu has shown some promise, but still, he's not everything. They drafted A.J. Griffin, who fell pretty deep to them. What can they do to improve? They also lost Kevin Herter. They lost Cam Reddish. They lost Gallinari. They lost Lou Williams.
I think it was worth it though. For Murray, I think it was worth it.
DeJounte Murray.
It's a W pickup, even though I hate the Hawks.
Yeah. So you think with Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, Clint Capella, is that a team to fear in the East? Could that be
Definitely.
a potential sleeper team?
Definitely.
I don't think they're going to the chip, but like
They can make a deep run.
I can still see them going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
All right, then we'll go to the Knicks. The Knicks are kind of they need a superstar.
I don't think we have enough time to talk about what
it's
they
a
need to
sensitive
improve.
topic.
They need a superstar.
It's a sensitive topic.
The Wizards, you need Bradley Beal to come back and be an all-star.
And they're dangerous like that with
They
Kuz
are.
and Porzingis. Like,
Monte
Porzingis is not really
Morris.
gonna do much.
They got Will Barton, Denny
Those are solid
Avdija, Roy
pickups.
Hachimura. If Bradley Beal is at 30 points per game score, I could see them being a 5 seed potentially.
I don't know about 5 seed. I don't know. 'Cause
I think
still,
they're deep. They have Porzingis.
they
They,
might-
got Daniel Gafford. They got Reed.
They
got
might make a play in.
Denny.
I don't know. I
Kuzma,
still feel. I
Monte.
still see teams like. I still see like
Cavs.
Chicago, the Cavs, beating them out like easily. Like
Could we see a 7 seed?
I could see them clinching the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see them missing the play-in. I'll say that because I have faith in them. Yeah,
The Pacers are kind of a lost cause. They're in a rebuild.
they're in a
right
rebuild,
now.
so can't criticize them. They're trying.
Pistons. I don't know what we're gonna get from the Pistons. I don't know if they're gonna be a winning team or not. With
I don't think
they have a lot of fun young players, and sometimes that leads to wins.
Who
but-
did they draft this year?
They drafted Jalen Duren. They drafted Jaden Ivey.
So,
Kate Cunningham too, but really.
Cade's still there. Hamadou Diallo, Beef Stew, Marvin Bagley.
I think
Nerlens
Yeah.
Noel.
I would have more faith in them if they didn't give up Jeremy Grant for nothing.
Exactly. Jeremy Grant was such like a key player.
Like the fact that
He's
they didn't
almost
even
an
get
all-star.
Nurkic from that trade, so bad.
Yeah. They got really nothing.
I don't know what.
I don't know
What was
they
the
did
point of that trade?
They were just getting rid of his salary cap, I guess. And then the Magic are also a lost cause.
Yeah, there's nothing
Nobody
with
wants
that.
to. Nobody wants to see the Magic.
So I think that would do it for the East sleepers that even had a chance, or what they need to do to improve to get that chance.
I guess we'll cover the next in the next
Yeah.
episode.
We'll cover the West in the next episode. This is getting a little long.
Yep. All right. So that'll wrap up this episode of the Rebound. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Peace.